Now, today is the second day of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Singapore. As he wraps up his three-nation tour, the Indian Prime Minister will hold extensive talks with his Singaporean counterpart Lee Hee Song. The two countries are set to ink a number of pacts in the areas of defence, space and skill development. Another highlight of Prime Minister Modi's visit to Singapore is his keynote address at the Shangri-La Dialogue. The Shangri-La Dialogue is a defence and security conference held at Shangri-La Hotel. It is an important gathering attended by defence ministers, permanent heads of ministries and military chiefs. Narendra Modi will become the first Indian Prime Minister who will deliver the keynote address at the forum. The Indian Prime Minister is also scheduled to visit the Arjuna's Chariot and the Istiqlal Mosque. He is also expected to visit the Indian Heritage Centre and launch a platform to bring Indian artisans and craftsmen together. Now, the Indian Prime Minister is on his last leg up with his Act East policy. Narendra Modi is strengthening ties with ASEAN countries. Now, here's a roundup of all the action in Singapore until now.
A rousing reception for the Indian Prime Minister in Singapore. Narendra Modi addressing the Indian diaspora amid much fanfare, focusing on the warm ties that the two countries share. His address only interrupted when the crowd cheered. A sign many would say of his popularity among those living abroad.
Singapore became a partner and a bridge between India and ASEAN. Political relations between India and Singapore are among the warmest and closest. There are no contents or claims or doubts. It is a natural partnership from a shared vision. Our defense relations are among the strongest for both.
On day one of his second official visit to Singapore, the Indian Prime Minister met with top corporate leaders in an informal rendezvous. He held a roundtable conference with 30 top business leaders over dinner.
Distinguished guests, you kindly take your seats. Join me in giving them another big round of applause, please.
But the highlight of the day was this exhibition where the startup ecosystem was booming. Tech minds all under one roof, ready to showcase their talent. But these young tech minds are the ones that stole the show.
Basically, the idea came up with when our innovation coach in the Atal Tinkering Lab met up with an accident and the opposite driver was not having the license. So our innovation coach also got fractured for 15 days and he cannot come in the lab. So we got inspired from that and we thought that it was illegal to drive without license and we proposed this solution.
So how many days did it take and do you think it's a workable idea, Aditya?
Yeah, sure, it's a workable idea and we took something around 6 days for creating this whole product.
It will be down to serious business on day 2 of his visit. Narendra Modi will hold extensive talks with his Singaporean counterpart Lee Hsien Loong on Friday. The two countries are set to ink a number of pacts in the areas of defence, space and skill development. Another highlight of the Prime Minister's visit to Singapore is his keynote address at the Shangri-La Dialogue. He's the first Indian Prime Minister who will deliver the keynote address at the forum.
There's a little India in Singapore and this little India is very, very prosperous. This little India is, I would say, very, very powerful, assertive and economically wealthy, and the Prime Minister Modi is going to visit this place. Last time he came around, he had a quiet lunch at a vegetarian restaurant because Prime Minister Modi is a vegetarian. So, and it just goes on to show that how we Indians bring our own practices. With camera person Vikram Singh, Kartikeya Sharma from Singapore for WION.